It's hard to believe, but it's the last episode of season 1 of Fine Tuning. And I started this podcast just with the hopes of getting some private shows and meeting some new people and sharing music and talking about music and listening to music. And all these things have happened in this first year. So with our 12th episode, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. It's Music City. It's the Mecca, right? So being here, I had this amazing artist, Stevie Woodward.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
This is unbelievable. Thank you for being my final guest of the first season.
Of course.
And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you play your first song, because that's what we're all here for.
All right. This is one of my songs. This is called Rollin' On. Come on over, let's head out towards Boulder. Before we're one day older, we'll grab a hold of the wind, let it take us into the wilderness, just trusting in the flow of going where we never been. This town is keeping me from breathing. We can take it, or we can leave it now. Just jump in. See that eagle circling. Why can't we be high like him? Keep it rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling on. Find a place your love can rain, and like a stone in a hurricane. Keep rolling, if we keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling on. Rolling on, we're just rolling on. Maybe you found it, built your world around it. You loved how it sounded, laying trust down like a bet, only to find out she'd take a new route with nothing to think about but praying you'll forget. Now you're reeling, but you keep healing, even if you don't believe it now. Just jump in. Hey, see that eagle circling. Why can't we be high like him? Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling on. Find a place your love can rain, and like a stone in a hurricane. Keep rolling, if we keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling on. Yeah, rolling on. We're just rolling on. Keep rolling, keep rolling on, yeah. Rolling on, we're just rolling on.
Yes!
Woohoo!
I love it.
Thank you.
That's so good. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me.
We were chatting a little bit before, and I found you on social media. My brother and I,
Yeah.
we were always following music people, and so he stumbled on you that way, and he was like, "Hey, you got to check her out. She's gonna be good." And but then we were talking a little bit earlier where you were like, "Yeah, I've met with publishers, but they were like, we don't know where you fit."
Oh my gosh, that's been the story of my life.
How can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up on all kinds of music, but I grew up particularly, my favorite was classic rock, so I listened to Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. And so I I do love country music, but I didn't grow up on it, so I didn't really start writing that way, you know? So I think my issue when I moved here to Nashville was when I was meeting with these people, it was always, you're great, we love what you're doing, but we just don't know what to do with you because it's not in the market for, you know, country music radio and all that stuff. But now, I mean, it's grown here so much, the music scene has. So there's all kinds of music, but for me, that's always been what it's been. It's just, you're great, we don't know what to do with you.
That's like, on one hand, it's like a beautiful problem,
Right.
but on the other hand, it's like frustrating. It's got to be frustrating a little bit.
It is, because as an artist, you know, you want to find what makes you unique and kind of hone in on that. And I think that a lot of people are pulled towards, you know, I want to sound like this because this is what's on the radio and stuff, which if you want to do that, that's great. But for me, that's never been what I've aimed for, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's disappointing on one hand because I feel like that's almost like a stereotype with the music industry. Like they want a surefire thing. Like what's a return of investment going to be? Why we know this is going to be a hit, so let's do this.
Right. And you think about it from their perspective, it makes sense. You know, they got to make money.
And it's a lot of it. They're investing a lot of money. There's a lot of people's jobs at stake and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So it is a business. But on the other hand, it's like, man, that's where art lives, though. It's like this thing that's never been done before. Like,
Right.
Embrace that.
Yeah.
Go into the current. Don't go, you know, like you go against the current sometimes. And because I feel like some of the biggest artists we know did that, where like they weren't really the person before they became the person. Like you
Right.
look at, if you want a mainstream example, look at like Eric Church or someone, you know, like they not completely embraced, you know, at the beginning, and then finally it was like, well, the people want to hear him.
And he's incredible.
Yeah,
He's a great artist.
He's one of the best,
And he finds a way to make himself unique, you know? So you hear him and you're like, oh, that's Eric Church, you know?
right. And he never makes the same album twice.
Right.
He might not like. You know, you might have a favorite album of his, but you know you're going to get something new and fresh, and it's going to be where he's at that time. So I feel like, in a weird way, and one of the reasons I found you is because I like Kip Moore a lot.
Yeah.
And like I'd seen something a while back where like you had worked with him or something, and I was just like, that makes sense because she's doing something different, like her own way. And like Kip's notorious for doing that. Like,
for sure.
You know, where he had his commercial success right off the bat, which is, you know, and then he went in his own direction, which is a little different too in terms of how the trajectory usually works.
Completely.
You know?
And he'll be one of those people that will always have a loyal following. You know, people love him. He goes out on the road and he gives everything to those shows. And he's always been very authentic to himself too in that sense. And I think people really respond to that, you know?
Yeah.
Like they love it. They love authenticity. So.
And if the people are the ones that are buying the music, people are the ones that are going to the shows. So if you want to do like, for something like him, he's got that loyal following. But for you, I guess, because I've never really met someone that like literally moved to Nashville and like decided to do this.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
you'll meet a lot of people.
well, I mean, I guess maybe I've met a few that have tried it, but then they left or whatever. But no one that was like presently doing it. But so for you, like this vision of what moving to Nashville was going to be versus what it actually is, or what your experience has been like here, how has that compared? In terms of like maybe what you thought it would be like as to what it really is like. And I know you said 7 years, right?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it'd be easy. I thought I could move here and I'd be, you know, signing deals right away. No, but I mean, it's a lot of work. Like you gotta love it. And I do love it. But, you know, I went to school out here. I moved from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to come with the purpose of coming to Nashville or being close to Nashville. And, yeah, it is not what I expected at all. And it's great. I love it because, you know, it's shown me that, like, how hard I have to work. You know, I've worked harder than I ever have in my life just being here. Yeah, so, I mean, I enjoy it every day.
Yeah.
Even the days that aren't glamorous, you know? Like, the days that you're just sitting in your room and playing for hours and hours, it's like, you need to do that stuff to be able to get where you want to be, so.
Yeah, it's one of the things about being in like the Music City is that there's a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's here to play. Everyone's here to more or less kind of do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it is stiff competition, but I don't know. There's just something authentic and really genuine about people that are just grinding out their own vision.
For sure.
And that's kind of where I see you, and that's kind of why I latched onto you and wanted to reach out to see if you'd do this, because like sometimes you can kind of get the vibe of people just by the way they present themselves. So I'm super excited that you did this, because you were like,
cool.
can we do the second song?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is it's a song I wrote called I Won't Get High. It's about that almost hangover like state you get in after a relationship where you're saying, I'm never gonna fall in love again. And I've been there after getting hurt. And so, this is after a heartbreak and you're saying, I won't get high, I won't go for that again. But, you always do, so. 1, 2, 3. I broke the rules so I could be with you. Crossed a line that I had no intention to. And if this is how it's supposed to be, why are you watching me fall apart so easily? When I get my feet back on the floor, I won't get high anymore. I won't get high anymore. I love the buzz, but it's dangerous. So when I come back down, I won't get high anymore. That's for sure. Airplanes were made for carving up the sky, but that's not me. I wasn't born to fly, but I've been lifted to heights I've never witnessed. But your games, well, they're a whole new kind of vicious. When I get my feet back on the floor, I won't get high anymore. I won't get high anymore. I love the buzz, but it's dangerous. So when I come back down, I won't get high anymore. That's for sure. So it's down, down, down. It's down, down, down. Yeah, it's down, down, down. Here I go. Gonna turn you off just like a light. And I swear, starting tonight, I won't get high anymore. I won't get high anymore. I love the buzz, but it's dangerous. So when I come back down, I won't get high anymore. That's for sure.
Stevie Woodward in studio. We're recording in Prime Recording here in Nashville, Tennessee, which I'm very appreciative of them helping us out, inviting us into this space. It's a beautiful little studio. It just feels like home, man. I'm getting a thumbs up from the control room, so that's all right. But if any musicians or anything like that, they're looking for a place in Nashville that makes them feel like home, check them out. Prime Recording for sure. I'm glad I came here. There's a lot of studios here, but I highly recommend Prime Recording. Okay, so I was trying to figure out like a way of thinking, because like we hear like trying to sum up the way Nashville music scene is, because we hear the final product of what comes out of this city on the radio. You can hear it in every town in the country, but from the people I talk to, there's like so much more here.
There's so much more.
So like, can you, like, in your experience in 7 years of living here, like how can you explain like how much music's here and like how the vibe is, like, because it just seems so different.
The energy here is so different. Like what I was telling you earlier, it's like there's so many creative people here, whether it's music, whether it's, film, photography, you name it. Like they're all here and you can feel it. And you can pretty much walk into any shop and hear a musician playing songs. We have some of the most talented musicians here in Nashville in the world. But there's so much more than just what you hear on the radio here. And I think it's such a great thing too. You can walk into a club and hear a band you would have never heard on the radio. It's like, it's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, I remember I was here, I don't know, probably, I was first here a long time ago, but then it was maybe the second or third time I was here, we went to a bar, and it was a band that was strictly playing like rock music.
Yeah.
And they were playing like Tom Petty and, some of the people we mentioned. And I was just like, okay, playing Bob Seger, things like that. And that didn't play a country song. No Willie Nelson, no Johnny Cash. And it was all like different. I was like, okay, that was the first, like, it's like, I don't know, my first experience hearing something that I liked. I like country music, but I like all music. So, yeah, it's cool. I think I myself, I know I get caught up in like what I think Nashville is versus what, I don't believe in the commercialism and, being the old grump, that kind of thing.
There's so much here. And like down on Broadway, like you go down on Broadway Street in Nashville and it's like, that's country. You're going to find the country bars there. You're going to hear what's on the radio and it's always popping down there. Like there's always people there. But then again, you go 5 minutes down the road and you're hearing a rock band playing Tom Petty, So it just depends. And then you can go to the next place over and it's a songwriter's round where it's folk, So it's just, there's so many different kinds. That's why I like always encourage people to come here if they love music and they love playing it or just listening to it, because you can find something here. And
it seems like it's there's a few cities across the country that I've found that prove to be very good music cities. So like live music, Pittsburgh's one of them. If you go to Pittsburgh, anyone who lives there is not surprised when they see someone playing music. It's just what happens there. Columbus, Ohio is a very good one. People are expecting music. There's a few scattered throughout the country, but it just seems like it's I don't want to say a lost art or a dying art, but it's not as common maybe as it used to be before the technology boom and some of this stuff. So I think like having a place like Nashville where if you need to be around music, or if you need to be just maybe not even part of it, but just around it, this is a place where you can find people playing, like actually playing instruments and playing music, and doing it.
Yeah.
And for you though, when you... Because, okay, so you say you came to school here. Was it the reason that you chose to come to school here as opposed to, anywhere else in the country, really? Because of the music, or what? Like, how did that happen?
So it's a funny story, actually. We have a family friend. My stepdad grew up with him. His name's Chuck Cannon, and he's a songwriter here, incredibly talented. So in high school, I went to go see a show of Chuck's in, I think it was Atlanta, Georgia. And
we met after his show, and he was saying, what do you want to do? He knew I wanted to pursue music, but he didn't know exactly what route I wanted to go. And I said, well, just thinking of what schools to go to, I don't really know where to go. And he said, let me see your hand. So your left hand. So I gave him my left hand across the table, and he looked at it and he felt the tips of my fingers, the calluses, and he goes, all right, here's what you need to do. It was kind of like a test. Like, he was going to see if I had been putting in the hours to play guitar, and, my calluses were formed. So he said, you need to come to MTSU because it's a good, it's a cheaper route than, Belmont, which is in Nashville, so you'll still be close to Nashville, and you can just move here after you're done. So from the minute he said that, I was just full force here, because originally I was thinking about going to Berkeley in Boston, but I was like, it just makes sense to come to Nashville. And then once I moved here, I knew I made the right decision. I just loved it here.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And it almost because you can read stories of people that have made it, and then they spent 10 years here before they got famous or whatever it is, or they got their big break or whatever. But to me, it always seems like I meet two types of musicians. I meet musicians that are in it for they're trying to get big, right? They're trying to get famous, and if they don't, they're gonna stop. If they give themselves a deadline, or I meet the people that are lifers. No matter what happens, they're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I know people that are that I would put in that category that are in their 20s, in early 20s, and then I've met people that are now in their 50s that are still lifers. They're still I'm gonna go play wherever it is.
They just love it.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where you belong. You belong in that category.
100%. I would be doing this if I made $0. I would get a side job. I will always play music. It's first love, always will be. And I think those people it's really respectful to see people like that, that are just doing it their whole life just because they thoroughly enjoy it. They just love it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that pursue a music career for the wrong reasons. I think that you see it all the time, but I think you also see those kind of people that will always be playing music just for the love of it. And I think that's inspiring.
Yeah. That's where I feel most at home with those types of people, because I just know for a fact if I never play another show, if I can never get another gig for whatever reason, I just know I'm going to write songs.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be sitting somewhere at home by
You're
myself.
You're a songwriter. Yeah.
It's if no one hears them or whatever, I just can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
So it's my addiction of video games or something. I don't.
It's a better addiction than video games.
And it's a cheap hobby. People are like, how can you travel all these places and you don't have a normal job and you do all these things? And I'm like, well, my hobby consists of a piece of paper and a pen, and the total out cost is $1.25.
Right.
So I can afford to do this
Yeah.
for quite a while. If I can bug you to play one more song,
Absolutely.
I would be so thrilled.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone listening. This is so much fun. We're going to end on this song. I'll just let her roll us right out of town here. Like I said, season 1's wrapped up. It's all done. I've got some things I'm working on for season 2. So hopefully I'm not going anywhere, and hopefully we can keep this little podcast going. I appreciate everyone listening. We're building slowly but surely. So if you don't mind spreading the word, I'm going to try and sell this thing a little bit, because I'm a terrible salesman. And I'd rather, I don't know. I believe in what we're doing here, and I believe in these artists we've had on. So we're going to just try and keep spreading the good word of what the music community should be. Thanks to everyone listening. If you know someone that might like it, share the word, spread it around. And so with that, I'm going to sign off. Stevie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And we will be back next year, 2020. 2020, I guess you're supposed to say. But, okay. Stevie, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I love that you do this. I think it's such an incredible outlet for artists. This is a song I wrote called See You Out the Door. No, I'm not trying to get all in your business.
But you're looking pretty guilty when you're looking at me lately. No, I'm not trying to hold you tight. You keep loving me less and giving me less love, and that ain't like you. If you're not feeling this, it is what it is. And I'd be better off without this. If it's easy to leave and you don't have to think on it, you better believe that I'ma let you walk right on. It's clear to me that you don't know what you're losing, so I don't need you hanging around here no more. So I'll see, guess I'll see, guess I'll see you out the door. No, I don't need you to adore me. You keep loving me less and giving me less love, and that ain't like you. If you're not feeling this, it is what it is. And I'd be better off without this. If it's easy to leave and you don't have to think on it, you better believe, oh, that I'ma let you walk right on. It's clear to me that you don't know what you're losing, so I don't need you hanging around here no more. So I'll see, yes I'll see, yes I'll see you out the door. I've been here, giving you all my loving, giving you all my time. So if you don't want it, I'ma give it all away. If it's easy to leave and you don't have to think on it, you better believe, oh, that I'ma let you walk right on. It's clear to me that you don't know what you're losing, so I don't need you hanging around here no more. So I'll see, yes I'll see, yes I'll see you out. I'll see you out. I'll see you out the door.
That was it. Oh, that was fun.
That was awesome.
I think that turned out pretty good. Turned out good?